Welcome. Are you curious about what is to come? Well, you came to the right place. I'm going to be doing a predictive reading. So we're going to see what is coming in the time ahead. So this is what came out in the cleansing ceremony. We had the Mother of Fire transformation, 4 of Earth in reverse, 9 of Water, Maiden of Water, and Beltane in reverse, which is the Lover's card in this deck. So this is telling me a lot of information about how we are nurturing our fire. So fire energy is our lust, our passion, and also our vital force, literally our energy. And so this brings up relationships. This can be passion projects, things that we're really dedicating our life to, and how we are nurturing them. You know, paired with transformation, clearly there are things changing about how our fire needs to be nurtured. And our fire starts with how we are nurturing our body, right? How we are fueling our vessel, whether that is through food and drink, but also through various, beauty products, health and beauty products, detergents and things like that. All the things that come into our body that fuel our fire. The same can be said about media and music, right? Anything that becomes us and our energy and how we use it. So there is some major transformation going on in the fire element. With the 4 of Earth in reverse, it seems like a lot of things have not been falling into place the way that the collective wanted it to happen. It's like we wanted to build a bridge and get over it is what I'm hearing, but there is still energy where things were not necessarily aligning. And this bridge is very interesting. These are like little pieces of slate rock. And in order to do this, you have to be able to put each of these pieces in at the exact angle necessary at the exact time, right? It takes a village in order to build this bridge. And with this coming out in reverse, it was telling me that the way the collective is working together in terms of alignment and divine timing, there was something a little bit off about why we weren't able to get to that next phase as a collective. And bridge energy is Chiron energy. Chiron is healing. So there's a lot of stuff that the collective still needs to heal. And again, something was not necessarily off. And with the 4 of Earth, it was shaking the physical foundation of society itself. I will say this card has something else to say later, but we have the 9 of Water. So things are changing so that true abundance can come in, that true balance can come in. As you can see, this is a mirror image. And I will say I'm getting a lot of feminine energy. Energetically, the feminine leads, and even all of the characters here that we see, except in Beltane, are feminine-esque. This does not mean it's necessarily women, but the collective feminine energy is bringing into balance of allowing things to unfold the way that is absolutely necessary in order to bring in this true abundance. Lotus energy represents the true unfolding. It's the act, it's like unfoldment. It's the act of allowing the divine essence to unfold. And elephant spirit, it's very interesting. Elephants, they are pack animals, but only the matriarchs. So once the small males are old enough, they actually get kicked out of the herd. And so I'm definitely feeling this energy of kind of tough love, of feminine energy. It's not abandoning the masculine, but I feel like that was the old story, was the feminine abandoning the masculine, not the other way around. And the new story that is anchoring in is allowing the masculine to step into that leadership position and no longer be codependent on the feminine energy that leads, that energetically leads. And when the masculine is on their own and doing that, then they are able to figure out how to truly step into that king and emperor energy. Because we have the Maiden of Water, so it seems like this new beginning and this transformation is really ushering in a whole new beginning when it comes to emotions. The Maiden of Water is very playful. The Maiden of Water is open to new emotional experiences and fresh experiences, and has this sort of like childlike whimsy. And we do have dolphin spirit, so some shadows of the Maiden of Water can be a bit of the licentiousness or propensity to engage in substances and things like that. I'm sure you know about the social lives of dolphin. They are pretty promiscuous and rowdy, but that can also be a gift of the Maiden of Water, of, you know, feeling free and non-judgmental towards that type of lifestyle perhaps. But we do have Beltane in reverse, and as I mentioned, this is the Lover's energy in reverse. So I feel like with the transformation of the way things have been nurtured, there will be some divine intervention of partnerships that no longer are meant to be. Anything that is not balancing the masculine and feminine energy will not stand the test of time. And so, you know, Beltane represents the celebration of love. It's like new energy, right? May energy. So things have already bloomed and blossomed and you're growing and things like that. And remember, we are in the midst of winter if you are in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere it is summer. So I definitely feel like there are some shadows that need to be gone through and walked through in terms of how, you know, things that are not true love, things that are not divine partnerships, how those are celebrated in a way that no longer should be celebrated. And then when these came out originally, when I was putting them back up here to, you know, put them out this way, the Four of Earth actually sprung out and did a flip and then came upright. So it does feel like finally it's a new opportunity, another chance, so to speak, in order to really build this bridge and get over this energetic hump that the collective needs to get over. And again, there's a lot about divine timing and working together in order to achieve goals. We have Durant using energy digging, Aaron using metal claw, Jinx using psychic assault, and Wooloo roll out. So with Durant using energy digging, we are definitely going to dig very deep into this energy and see exactly what is going on. But I feel like because this is the heart chakra, that's what has been happening as a collective, right? Ant spirit represents the collective of what we're doing for the greater good, right? Like, how are we all working for a queen ant? You know, like, what society are we building? What are we doing as a collective? Like, what are we doing? What is the purpose? How are all of our individual little menial tasks that we're doing building into the greater collective? And it seems like the heart chakra of the collective has really been doing some digging of like, what is my purpose? What am I doing? And how is that influencing the larger collective? And then we have Aaron using metal claw. And so this is steel type energy, and Durant is actually a steel type. So I feel like there are a lot of heart walls that have been opening up as the digging continues. And metal claw, I was seeing like this, you know, those like, I don't, what they're called, those like games where you get stuffed animals and stuff. They're like everywhere in Japan, sometimes like at the movie theater or something. I was feeling this energy of, again, this very, it's reminding me of that Toy Story movie when all the aliens are like, the claw, right? Of like not understanding anything really, you know, it's like being in a very limited environment, not understanding what's going on, making up these stories based on your very limited environmental observations, right? And it's like there's a whole world out there that has that is beyond being chosen by that claw. We'll definitely dig deeper into that one. With Jinx using psychic assault, I do feel like the collective is understanding that there have been jinx, there have been spells cast upon humanity. There is a lot of black magic that is just very blatantly open when you know what it is and you know how to spot it. With psychic assault, you know, with psychic energy, like there are so many non-physical assaults going on to the collective, whether it's to keep it dumbed down through media or literally dying through food dyes. You know, there's that spelling right there, like, you know, literally Killing all of your chakras through these different dyes. And just looking into the food supply, looking into the water supply, looking into the soil quality, looking into the air quality. The facts are all there. And if you look into anything, it's like everything is toxic. Well, why? Again, as a collective, why? Why are all these little things surmounting to this? Who is the queen ant that is dictating all the worker ants to build a society like this, right? And it's like society is just like, oh, the claw, it's some mysterious hand, it's some mysterious force, or pick whoever you're blaming, the government, the shadow government, this, that. But the fact remains the same. Society is where it is. And in order to build this bridge and literally get over it, which, bridges is also timeline healing and getting to a new timeline, we are going to have to work as a collective. And with Wooloo using rolling rollout, I definitely feel like a lot of people with what's to come are going to check out. So it's just something that you need to be aware of, that as perhaps your psychic senses increase and your perceptional abilities, there may be some who literally will just want to leave. They will be taken by the claw, so to speak, because that is what their normal is, because they don't want to do the spiritual work. However, the thing is that the people who are doing the spiritual work are building this bridge and are getting to a new timeline. So, don't be disheartened by anyone in your life that ends up falling off or going elsewhere. That's actually a good sign that you're moving in the right direction, because you're no longer resonating with people who just want to act like sheep. Okay? Rollout is an attack that gets stronger and stronger with time. And so we are going to see things that maybe, again, it's kind of like different seeds that are planted along the way in order to normalize certain things in society. These things are going to get stronger and stronger and have more impact as time continues. So let's take a look deep into what is going on for the collective here. Thanks for joining the live, everybody. All right, what can the collective expect? What is coming up for the collective? We have Mother of Earth and Mother of Fire. Yeah, this is very feminine energy. The mother, again, has to do with nurturing, right? The maiden ushers in new energy. The mother nurtures and keeps it going, right? And then the crone ends it, right? It's the end of a cycle. So we are in the middle stage with the Mother of Earth and Fire. So, the Mother of Earth is how we are nurturing, again, our physical vessel, our own bodies, and our planet itself, how we are literally mothering Earth. And then Mother of Fire, which we just talked about, is all about how we are using our energy, our firepower, our vital force in order to do anything, right? You use your firepower to brush your teeth. You use your firepower to write a poem. So I definitely feel like even though it is the collective feminine energy that is going to be leading, it really feels like mothers are going to be the ones who are spearheading a lot of what is to come, because they are realizing, that the world is trying to make their children sick. And it's like they won't stand for it, is what I'm hearing. What's the light energy here? We have the crown chakra and fairy type. So I also feel like this wants to come out. So the crown chakra is how we get divine information, right? How we get information downloaded from the external world through the top of the head, the crown, and then it gets processed in the third eye, right? In the mind, in order to make sense of it. So it definitely feels like a lot of mothers and divine feminines, but again, mothers specifically, are really going to start getting this information directly from the divine in order to inspire them to help take care of the planet, help take care of themselves, and help take care of their children. And mother energy can also apply to people who are, nurturing their career, nurturing a passion project, right? There are children in many forms, not necessarily just biological children, but I do feel like those mothers are leading that way. And again, fairy type represents soul contracts. So soul contracts are you do this, I do that, right? It's how we make these agreements before we incarnate of, what we're supposed to learn and through who, how we learn certain lessons. And so I definitely feel like mothers are uniting, and we may even see a lot of very fiery mothers with very grounded mothers coming together for that common cause. And then we have Gardenia's Vigor in reverse, which is a trainer. Yeah, as I said, like some people are going to fall off, and that's what I'm really feeling here. There can be some people who are like, oh, as I'm getting like, how do I want to put it? Like, oh yeah, like I grow flowers. Look, I'm so, earthy, and I'm so, aligned with nature and stuff. But it feels like fake bee energy, because it's like, just because, like, are those flowers native? Are they helping your local ecosystem, or is it actually harming your local ecosystem? Is it, bringing pests to other people's gardens? You know what I mean? It's like, it's not just, oh, I'm going to grow a flower. It's like really having the information and putting that intention behind each action. And again, I feel like people who are, how do I want to put this? People who have done things that they think are for the goodness of the collective or whatever are really going to be falling off here. And, vigor is really related to firepower. So I feel like some people's energy are really going to start depleting if the earth and fire element are not aligned and coexisting. All right, let's see what is in the shadow. I'm definitely feeling a lot of fear, and it was really coming out with Gardenia's vigor because it feels like there was some sort of support given by these mother figures, right? Like, there's this aspect of mothers being like, I'm not doing all of this for this. It's kind of like that Nine of Water coming back up again. And so I definitely feel like there are some people that are going to be very fearful when they lose the support of whatever this Gardenia's Vigor used to be, or the support of the quote-unquote mothers that used to be. All right, let's see what's the shadow here. Wanted to come out with quite a splash. We have Trainer Potion. Coming out stuck, Lycanroc, Rock Throw, and Sharp Mane, and Radiant Alakazam using Painful Spoons. Yeah, so Trainer Potion, it feels like, these other people, right? Trainers are other people. It's like they tried to heal, but it's only a potion, right? This is not a full heal. This is not a max potion. This is like the least amount possible. And it feels like that's why the mothers have been fed up, is like, the healing that has been done is literally the bare minimum, and it's just not enough. And I feel like that is why this mother energy is really taking over and doing what they need to do. Again, it feels like towards the masculine collective, because we have Lycanroc using Rock Throw and Sharp Mane. And this is fighting energy. So I do feel like there is a fighting type energy, and this Lycanroc is the one that evolves at nighttime. So it's definitely some shadow energy of loyalty. Lycanroc is like a dog type energy. So it's like how things have been loyal to the shadow, right? Being loyal to the unseen. So these can be all the things of like, oh, promises this, and again, it's like the bare minimum of things not happening in the physical reality, in the light that was necessary. And that is why the mother energy has gotten to this point. And with Rock Throw, I always get that biblical verse of like, he who is without sin casts the first stone, or whatever that is. And it is, there is this energy, and I feel like that has been the shadow aspect of like, oh, well, we're all quote unquote guilty of something in some way. So, there's no reason why someone should hold someone else accountable because, oh, we've done it ourselves, or we're not perfect, or something like that. But with sharp mane, again, it's gotten to the point where now the mother energy has to be very sharp, and she is okay with casting the first stone. And it doesn't really matter how many stones come back, because this dialogue and this, I'm hearing judgment. Like at first I heard blame, but then I heard, no, this is a judgment. So, okay, it says they live alone without forming packs. They will only listen to orders from trainers who can draw out their true power. Yeah, again, it definitely feels like mothers isolating, not forming packs. So this can be the collective feminine energy saying, I'm not going to have children until this happens, until, I find a trainer who will do this, this, this. I'm not going to be a mother and work and cook and clean and things like that. That is just one example of this energy, but it definitely feels like the feminine has just been overloaded. And again, it's like, for what? For our planet to be sick, for the food, water, air, all of this to be toxic, even like receipts being toxic, clothes being toxic. Like, what is the point of all this? Like, what are we doing this for? What greater cause? And, I'm definitely feeling like it is the mother energy that's like, I'd rather be alone than with a partner that's going to make me work twice as hard. And with Radiant Alakazam, this is a shiny Alakazam with painful spoons. This is a very painful process, right? Spoons is like a psychological term in therapy of like your emotional bandwidth, basically. It's like how many, maybe you start with like 50 spoons a day, and, taking care of the kids is like 10 spoons, or probably 20 of the spoons, right? Taking a shower yourself is 2 spoons, and, making dinner is 5 spoons. It's like, if you only have a limited amount of spoons, how are you going to, allocate them through the day to make sure that you're not constantly, burnt out or taken advantage of, or constantly depleting yourself. And with painful spoons, it feels like the mother energy is recognizing how painful this process is of, wow, yeah, I rather would be alone than be with a trainer who cannot, draw out the true power, because again, when the mother energy is supported, she is the force to be reckoned with, right? It's like when in general, like women are safe and secure, that is when they can do their most potent magic. That's when they can manifest anything, because they don't have to worry about base security. And this has nothing to do with money per se, even though we do have the earth element here, but it's literally like the safety of even being on this planet, of the quality of everything in our lives, and how so many synthetic things have been created that are destabilizing the body, whether you like it or not. It says it has an incredibly high level of intelligence. Some say that Alakazam remembers everything that ever happened to it from birth till death. Yeah, so this is, again, a lot of information is coming in. The average mother is much more intelligent than they used to be, just because of the access of information. That's not a judgment on older generations, but just having access to all the information through the internet is really changing things. The average woman is extremely intelligent in so many ways, and even just listening to her own intuition and own body is the highest intelligence there really is. And it's talking about how it remembers everything from birth till death. So again, this divine information, it feels like the collective motherhood is accessing everything, right? From birth till death. This is definitely like Akashic record level information. This is divine infinite level of info. And again, like understanding things did not always used to be this way. And a lot of the history that has been told to us is manipulated and purposely distorted to make us think like, oh wow, we're the most modern society ever. Like, that is such a lie. And anyone who does their own digging into history will come to the same conclusion. All right, let's see what else is going on for the collective. Okay, yeah. I knew Lammas was about to show up because this is the devil in this deck. And it's coming out in reverse, which I love because, again, it's saying no to this. Wow, they're all reversed. So it feels like this is the distorted energy, okay? So, okay. So we have, I'm definitely feeling a lot of very like kind of dark black magic energy. The Seven of Earth is the emotional predatory energy, and understanding the light and shadow of this is an earth aspect, but it is it's an earth card, Seven of Earth, but it is in the water element. So it very much is like Capricorn and Cancerian energy. And it represents, again, like understanding that the way that physical reality and emotional reality come together can either be this light and playful dolphin energy and, the chill Squirtle and the mermaid factions, or it can be this sort of emotional predatory energy of the sharks. And that's not a judgment on sharks. Trust me, I know that they're peaceful giants and things like that. But with this coming out in reverse, again, there is this, it feels like the collective is no longer, again, like, it's the rock throw of like, oh, I'm not going to cast a stone at predators because I, may have done things myself, or maybe, my dad did, or my brother did, or, maybe my husband did when he was young, or things like that. It's like, no, this is really a time where we are shutting down predatory energy in general, whether it's towards the feminine collective, the planet, or whatever it may be. And the Nine of Air and the Mother of Air with the Devil, Lammas, and Eight of Water, this is definitely giving me a lot of black magic and how there has been a lot of feminine energy in terms of air. So this is information. This is thought process that has been used to distort reality, and really is the spell on humanity that is causing this predatory energy of really not being able to see properly what is lurking below or above with the claw. Because the Nine of Air in reverse, when it's upright, it represents that this conversation is like dead, done, and over with. Like it's really the ending. And with it coming out in reverse, it's telling me there is still something that is going on. And we have a lot of runes here, which can represent like binding and things like that of, I'm hearing like a distorted energy about the Tree of Life. And even the Tree of Life itself, when we look at the Kabbalistic method and how it is distorted, that is not truly the Tree of Life. That is actually a Tree of Life that is that feeds off of DEATH energy. So again, this is a lot of mental manipulation, informational manipulation. And again, this is the Devil card. And when it's coming out in reverse, it's people understanding that they're no longer going to be misled by false information, even if it is being, pushed out by the collective, indoctrinated through schools and things like that. Because again, the collective is realizing with the Eight of Water in reverse that this is straight up witchcraft. Words are spellings. Like anything that is being, it's like the media, right? Telling you some sort of narrative of what's going on. More and more people are questioning like, okay, well, I'm being told one thing, but my reality is another. So what's not adding up here? And what you'll come to find is that more and more people experience that same thing, that they're figuring out that most of their life, most of the information they have been taught from history to science to mathematics even, is not correct. It's all been an indoctrination that when coming together is an amalgamation that is materializing our reality around based on how we are feeling about this information, which is actually normalizing this predator-prey program that's running here on this planet. And again, this is not a Tree of Life. This is an artificial Tree of Life. This is a tree of DEATH that is going on right now, and we need to get out of it. And part of it is, this Lammas card specifically represents, it's like he is, after harvest time and you get everything and you do all your work and you make the meat and you take, make your bread and things like that. He comes along and just steals it. And it goes along with the saying, like, the devil enjoys the fruits of your labor. So it's like literally someone stealing the fruits of your labor. And with this coming out in reverse, it feels like the collective is done with it. They are not okay with the fruits of their labor being stolen, ill-gotten gains type energy. And again, the collective motherhood is the one spearheading this. Let's take a look at what's in the light. Yeah, trainer psychic third eye. Again, more and more people's psychic senses and third eyes are opening. And it's because this crown chakra, the information, it's like the crown chakra, right? It kind of, you can see it as horns or you can see it as a halo of like how the information is coming in. Is it coming from two directions of like, well, I don't know, I don't want to throw a stone? Or is it angelic of high principles of light? Is it that divine source light coming in that is helping open the third eyes, right? And more people's psychic senses are picking up and being like, okay, number one, I can see through this BS. I can absolutely see through it. And again, it's because the collective feminine energy of the fire and earth is getting stronger than this BS of the air. It's like literally how we are using our energy and what is happening to the energy, and also how we are relating to our own bodies and the planet is stronger than any spell could ever be. And that is causing this mass third eye opening. And, I almost said this at the beginning of the reading, it's like 2020 part 2 is about to start. You can basically say right now we are ending 2019 again, okay? It's going to be a little different, but the same type of mass awakening is going to be the same. And what's very interesting about Psychic's third eye here is that look how they are manipulating reality, right? Like look how the Pokeballs are flying in the air. So the part of being able to see properly with the third eye open is not only being able to see through, this facade and this, dark magic that's happening, but it is also understanding that, okay, now that I can see through that, I also understand that I have the ability to change my physical reality. And going right to the Seven of Earth in reverse, that Predator Prey program is Trainer Brandon in reverse. So yeah, I feel like some of you, if you know a Brandon, I think on a personal level, you better watch out. But yeah, I feel like, again, there are going to be some people that you just know that are a big no-no. And again, that's that Predator Prey program of, are you going to trust someone who's like rough and tumble of like, oh, I'm going to tell you how it is, this, maybe about, as you can see, there's like pillars in the back about this is like how society is and this is why and blah, 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 blah. Or are you going to trust your own psychic senses? And again, the collective is now waking up to their own psychic senses and seeing for themselves what is happening. And I'm also getting like, again, this aspect of questioning antiquity of how the past, what really was the past, right? And, there's this whole thing of like, oh, things are barbaric. We were clubbing each other over the heads and, no one had sanitation and it was disgusting and this, like that is a straight up lie. And it is, again, furthering this Predator Prey program of like, oh, the basis of human nature is, I'm going to club you with my club and drag you to my cave kind of thing. And again, it's just a straight up lie. That is not how our history has been. And anyone who actually has access to the beginning, the birth of existence to the end of it, right? Or the infinite access to everything knows it, right? Everyone who can access that information knows the same thing. Anyone who actually studies history in its entirety come to the same conclusions. And these are people who do it for themselves, not people who are being indoctrinated through things like academia. All right, let's see what's the shadow here. Okay, I was hearing there's one more thing about the light. So I think that this might be shadow and light. But we have fire energy. So again, mother of fire. And this is also the root chakra. The root chakra is the safety and stability chakra. It represents how we feel safe to connect to this planet. And everything we eat, drink, put in and on our bodies is part of the root chakra. Also our sleep schedule, our sense of safety. So it definitely feels like things are about to heat up during spring tides here. Okay. So obviously, as I mentioned, we're still in the midst of winter if you're in the northern hemisphere, or summer if you're in the southern hemisphere. So this is not necessarily a time for change. This is a time for dormancy if you're in winter, or things to continue growing the way that they are if you're in summer. When spring comes, and I'll talk about this for the northern hemisphere specifically, there's going to be a huge shift of energy. So this is talking about, the March equinox that's coming up. It feels like between March equinox and when the sun transitions into the part of the ecliptic that is associated with Aries, which is, I believe it's April 19th. So between March 21st and April 19th, that is when things are really going to start shifting. So next we will look into kind of how to prepare for what's to come, but let's take a look. It says, a mythical Pokemon said to have swelled the seas with rain and tidal waves. It battled with Groudon. Yeah, so this is talking about seas of rains and tidal waves. So it feels like the ocean is really going to be responding. And obviously we have the whole Predator-Prey program. And again, it feels very much like water and earth coming together. And, the entire ocean is pretty PO'd because they have been the prey to humanity, which has really been the predator of them. And it feels like the ocean folk are going to start fighting back. I even just saw a post today that a whale beached itself, which is usually a pretty big significator that the water spirits are going to be fighting back, because they are showing, there is a sacrificial sort of thing going on where whale spirits are letting us know, like, hey, this is what you're doing to us. So we can really expect big change. And it's talking about how it fought with Groudon. And Groudon Kyogre is the sea basin Pokemon. So it is known as the god of the sea. Groudon that it fights with is known as the god of the earth. So it definitely feels like there is going to be a battle between water and earth. And that's exactly what this energy that's coming out in the Seven of Earth is also, right? It's like Seven of Earth, but it's all water. And I'm definitely, and it's interesting because according to Chinese zodiac, we are just exiting the year of the wood dragon, which I mentioned in my post on Instagram, that the wood dragon, because wood is associated with green, this is like the year of Rayquaza. And Rayquaza, when Rayquaza is around, Kyogre and Groudon pretend to get along. Basically, Rayquaza stops them from fighting. So it feels like now that we're entering into a new year, it does seem like the water and earth are going to be battling. And a lot of it has to do with safety. And, there's also something to be said, again, I mentioned the mer people, about the creatures and, very intelligent creatures that live in the water as well. There's a reason why we haven't explored most of the ocean. Oh, what wants to come out? Yeah, wow, Palafin, Jet Punch. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps. This is a very humanoid dolphin energy. It says the Pokemon's ancient genes have awakened. It is now so extraordinarily strong that it can easily lift a cruise ship with one fin. Yeah, the water spirits and all of the societies that live in the water are really going to be fighting back this year. Woof. Because again, their ancient genes have awakened. So this can be a lot of like Mintaka type activations and things like that. But again, we really have this dolphin theme that we saw with the Maiden of Water at the beginning. And, I will give the true essence of Shark Spirit. Again, they are gentle giants and they are not really predators. Yes, of course I have to eat things, but like, they are actually, the essence that they hold is to protect whales and dolphins. And that is their essence. They help protect the oceans to make sure that the whale and dolphin populations stay safe. That is like their angelic presence in the water. So yeah, and it's talking about lifting a cruise ship. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are also some ships that go under and so on in this upcoming year. Let's see and that's probably why they're doing these drone shows. They're like, oh, look up here and don't look down there. All right, let's see what's the shadow aspect of this. Okay, we have Totodile, Fury Strikes, Toad's Cruel X using Protective Mycelium, and Aipom using Fiddle Around. So with Totodile, Fury Strikes, again, it definitely feels like the fury of the water, and it's just the start, right? Totodile is a water starter, and it's also called the Big Jaw Pokemon. So I definitely feel like water is going to be speaking very loudly, and it's very important that we are listening to what water is telling us. It says it's small but rough and tough. It won't hesitate to take a bite out of anything that moves. Yeah, and I feel like the ocean animals themselves might be more vicious than usual. Again, sharks are gentle giants, but because of how they have to protect the ocean, they have this, terrible reputation. Obviously, media, has been saying certain things about them. But Totodile is also like a crocodile type energy. So this is not just the oceans. It feels like it's going to be all water spirits. And with Toad's Cruel X using Protective Mycelium, the, how do I want to put this? The quote unquote cruelty that may come about is actually to help protect. And the mycelium network is like the fungus network that is under all of the earth, right? And that is how trees talk to each other, is through that mycelium. And we do have that mushroom spirit, mycelium spirit, is really going to also be helping the collective, and it's helping everything communicate as well in order to get the information from water spirit. So the earth is going to be taking in a lot of the information, like the planet itself, about what is going on in the oceans through the mycelium network. And again, even if things may seem like, nature, but really it's the water aspect of nature, might be a little bit cruel. It's actually just nature trying to protect itself based on the way that Earth is communicating about what is actually happening to Earth herself. And we have mushroom spirit that has been popping up a lot of different places in order to get the collective's attention. Obviously, there's a new fungus that is able to eat like nuclear waste. There is fungus, I believe, that can eat plastic as well. And obviously, okay, I won't say that one. So with Aipom using Fiddle Around, yeah, it's because literally, look at these monkeys, right? They have just been fooling around and causing havoc. And if you see, right, it's like they are just destroying this city. And that is the information that the Earth Network has been getting, is that, okay, people have just been fiddling around and destroying the planet, basically. And that information has been communicated. It says its tail is so powerful that it can use it to grab a tree branch and hold itself up in the air, which I'm definitely getting this 9 of air energy. And again, it's a lot of DEATH programs. Rather than the infinite divine immortality energy that we have in our souls, a lot of the predator-prey, black magic, distortion of history, and literally everything on our planet right now is based on finite things, based on, death programs and suffering and things like that. And again, that's the tail that has been holding this up, that has been holding up the false tree of life. And now things are really going to start changing. So let's see. Let's see what the collective should do. Or I guess anyone who this message reaches, to prepare for what is to come. One of air in reverse. I'm hearing like don't sleep on your gifts. Don't be swayed. Yeah, okay. Don't be swayed by don't be swayed by these spells anymore. Again, it's the air element. The one of air, as you can see, it's like she's, Ash, right? He's asleep. And what is she bringing? Like, oh, the house, the car, the job, right? It's like a business briefcase of all these distortions of what success looks like, or what, what you should, again, devote your life to, devote your physical body and devote your vital force and energy to. And with the one of air, it's saying like those types of energies should not be the dreams any longer. They need to be bigger and more sustainable, because with the five of air in reverse, it's saying nothing is set in stone, not even the things that are happening on our bodies, right? Like, you can have a palm read, your lines on your palm can change. I know, because mine have. And, people say things are set in stone of destiny and fate. That is not true. Everything is malleable. Our timeline is malleable. And that is why we are not destined or doomed for any one particular outcome. But it's time to reprioritize what you think your destiny is and what you think your fate is going to be. And again, a lot of people have enslaved themselves into the matrix of thinking, okay, I need to get this job, to have this car, to have this house, da-da-da. And again, it's like, that's the Durant energy that we saw in the cleansing ceremony of like, okay, all the little people, doing this, how is that amalgamating into the larger aspect of what society is doing, what our planet is doing, and, the bigger goals of the collective. And it's time to no longer be under this spell that this is what to strive for at the expense of literally our fire and earth, being sick, And with the elemental of water, it's saying it's time to tune into the water. So obviously, there is the whole aspect of the water element that's going to be fighting against the earth dwellers. So be prepared for that. If you are living on a coast or an island, if you are having dreams about natural disasters, get the F out of there. Trust what your third eye is telling you. Because there are some places you are not going to want to be. And tuning into your own water, your own emotional body, understanding why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, learning how to feel so that the energy can literally move through your body so it does not get stuck, so it is not stagnant. And even the water that you are drinking, right? Having pure water helps bring emotional clarity and helps bring emotional pureness. So it's really a year of focusing on your water. All right. Let's see what the light aspect of what the collective can do. All right. We have Perichsu using Nuzzle, Oddish Hook, Togepi, Daunt in reverse, and Dark Energy. Yeah, so even though obviously, what is foretold is not going to be the easiest thing, right? It is going to be some dark days ahead. It's the collective shadow that needs to be reckoned with. But this is not a reason to feel like it is daunting, okay? There is still so much good to come, and it's really important to make sure that you are, yes, honoring and holding that space for the dark energy. But again, the darkness is coming to light, right? It's in the light, and that's exactly what needs to happen in order for us to move forward as a collective. With Perichsu using Nuzzle, I feel like this is a really great time to figure out who you want to spend time with, like who you want to be close with where you're nuzzled up. We have, Oddish, which is like crocheted, and Togepi, which is the baby. So I definitely am feeling a lot of comfy, cozy energy. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be wanting to sort of stick to their home base is what I'm hearing. It says, a pair may be seen rubbing their cheek pouches together in effort to share stored electricity. So yeah, I feel like, it's talking about working in pairs. So again, really figuring out who you want to be paired up with. And we saw that with Beltane in reverse. If there is someone that you are not meant to be paired up with, they are going to fall off, and let them. Okay? But it definitely feels comfy cozy. It's talking about storing electricity. And electricity is your solar plexus, your willpower, and your ability to, again, assert your own will, have that confidence and things like that. So it feels like, finding someone that you're partnered with that's going to help boost your confidence, that's going to help you store up energy in order for when this chapter ends, that you're going to feel like you have an abundance of energy, not depleted, right? So not someone who's a negative Nancy, not someone who's, a downer or whatever. That's not someone that you want to be rubbing cheeks with, okay? And then we have Oddish using Hook. So this is heart chakra energy. And, it's really interesting because I'm getting, again, it's like the crocheted energy and Hook. So I feel like someone that you enjoy doing certain tasks with, right? Where you share a common hobby, maybe a creative thing that you want to do, or maybe just getting into a new hobby that you enjoy and to help pass the time. Because we do have the full moon here, which is, very high emotional energy. So, and even on full moons, it's like really suggested that you really don't go out during full moons, just because of, again, the full moon's influence on water, right? The moon influences water, the tides. It is known. It's a fact. It influences the oceans. And so I feel like there is this energy of finding something to do during high emotional days where you can, transmute your energy into some creative project that you can be proud of, right? Not just sitting and scrolling on your phone, but actually creating something. It is also called the weed Pokemon. So for some of you, you might need to do some emotional regulation of how, perhaps weed is utilized in your life. It says, during the day, it stays cold underground to avoid the sun. It grows by bathing in moonlight. Yeah, and moonlight is the light that's in the shadow, right? So this is talking about staying underground to avoid the sun. So it's like really doing that shadow work. Really get, again, the dark energy is in the light. So really understanding how everything fits together, basically. Crochet and macrame in general is all about how we weave things together and how, we are responsible for the pattern that is created. And it feels like that is really going to be big, in understanding our own heart chakra as we navigate through truly understanding the elemental of water. And with Togepi Daunt in reverse, again, this is not something to be daunting. And if you're listening to this, then clearly, you're doing it so that you can be prepared. So, when the water acts up like this, you're not going to be fearful because you know that that's exactly what is, quote unquote, supposed to be happening. When the mycelium, start doing some things as well, when the fungus network starts making themselves known even more so, that's not going to scare you either, right? When the veil falls off and you're able to see through manipulation of the masses and things like that, it's not going to be fearful because you already know, right? So this is not something to daunt. Again, darkness does not mean evil. Darkness does not mean bad. The shadow aspects of our lives are things that we just aren't aware of, and it's good that it comes to light because that is how we integrate it into the whole, into totality of the soul and the collective's soul. It says, its shell seems to be filled with joy. It is said that it will share good luck when treated kindly. Yeah, again, there are so many good things that are coming, especially as we do this sort of shadow work, because it's talking about how it's filled with joy and, being treated with good luck, or if treated with kindly, then it will have good luck. So it feels like those, soul contracts, again, it is fairy type, that if you find someone that you're fine with nuzzling up with and that that you can store energy together, it looks like luck is on your side and joy will be found even as you're navigating through some potentially difficult shadow work. And now let's take a look at the shadow. Yeah, look at that water energy, and we have Sandshrew using Sand Attack. So I'm hearing defense mechanisms, and that's the thing, is understanding your water energy in the shadow. So the feelings that you have, the emotions that you have that are trying to hide in the darkness, that are trying not to be seen or noticed. And with Sand Attack, Sand attack is an attack in the games where when you use it against an opponent, it lowers the accuracy. So there's this energy of literally trying not to be seen, of trying to lower the accuracy of getting information. And, that is the fighting. It's a fighting type. That's the fighting mechanism of the emotional body when it's in the shadow, is that, it doesn't want to be felt because it feels ashamed. So it's going to try to fight you and make it unclear about why these things are happening in order to divert you from feeling these feelings. And, one of the most important things about the elements of water is feeling it without shame, feeling it without judgment, allowing the water to flow, allowing your emotions to flow, even when they're bad, right? Like sometimes, and I say, without shame, without judgment. But the thing is, maybe you feel this way and then you feel shame that you feel that way. If you're resisting feeling that shame, then that is the emotion that you're actually resisting, not the first one. So allowing yourself to feel even those lower vibrational emotions so you can get them out so that they can move on. But if you resist feeling that emotion, even if it's negative or whatever, negative, then it stays there because it's waiting to be felt. And that is what this accuracy, sand attack energy is all about. It says it burrows and lives underground. If threatened, it curls itself up into a ball for protection. Yeah, so this is a protection mechanism of the shadow body, that it tries to curl up into a little ball and doesn't want to be seen, doesn't want to be heard, tries to, make it so that you can't see it. And just know that is a common defense mechanism of the shadow, but to do that work anyway and, move through those emotions. And again, that's why it's also important to have, a good sounding board or partner that is with you, because that way, you can work through those sorts of things together. So I am going to do a sign by sign reading just for what's upcoming. And that is going to be available on my website for Eagle and Phoenix members only. So if you are a member, that will be uploaded within the next hour or so. I'm going to record it right after this. But before we do that, let's see some more messages that want to come through, some oracle messages for the collective. Okay. We have the gray squirrel, find new ways of solving problems with Archangel Raphael, and hyena, dare to be different, Archangel Jophiel. So yeah, hyena feels like it went to toad squirrel, and with sand shrew, sand attack. So with the gray squirrel, find new ways of solving problems. Again, it feels like that is really going to be important for having doing your own emotional work and understanding your own water element. But also it feels like this is very much the crown chakra energy of the information that's going to be coming in that is inspiring people to find new ways to solving problems, right? Of how are we going to clean up, the food supply, the water supply, the air supply, the clothing process, this. And really it is inspired action through little things that we can each do on an individual basis. And again, it's not like, oh, well, I'm not perfect. I won't make a change. That's the defeatist mindset that is going to keep us in the same position. So doing anything you possibly can by finding new ways to solve problems. Okay, you need to wash your clothes. Okay, well, what if you used this instead of, detergent that is, ruining your hormones, giving you allergies, and the plastic is sitting in a landfill. You know what I mean? Don't just go with the easiest thing. Find a new way to solve problems. Maybe you can find someone who makes all natural, non-toxic laundry detergent and you can give them, you know, glass jars to fill, and you can trade that for, I don't know, something that you do. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many different ways to solve so many problems, and it definitely feels like a lot of really inspired information is going to be coming to the Mother Collective specifically, or anyone who is nurturing something, anyone who is starting to nurture their own flame and really respect their own energy, not burn themselves out, not be willing to, again, give out more spoons than they actually have. And also those who are honoring their body more and connecting to the planet more and honoring the planet. And, you know, squirrels are really good at planning for the future as well, right? They know, they find nuts and they hide them in multiple places. They have basically like multiple savings accounts. So I'm also getting that there is a different way to make sure that you have enough resources in different places to bring about, you know, more security and stability that the root chakra really does need. With hyena here, I'm getting you need to laugh more. And, you know, with what's to come, it's a show, right? So laughing as much as you can, because it's a comedy, right? They're going to try to push it as a tragedy, but you have to see it as a comedy. And that is part of being different, of seeing things different, of being able to see things from a higher perspective. There is some like Uranian, Neptunian energy. I'm not sure exactly what planet that is, but it's very, you know, seeing, it has to be Uranus. Okay. Because it's all about being different and being okay with being different. And that's the thing is, you know, there's going to be different waves of people who start doing things, but it's really important that you don't care that you're different, because it's important to get out of what is quote unquote normal, because what is quote unquote normal is literally causing the destruction of how we got here. So, you know, it is okay to be different and dare to be different. It's almost like, you know, like truth or dare. It's not even dare. It's truth to be different. Truth to be different. All right, let's see. Let's do... Okay, nope, not in here. Let's see. Okay, let's do a moon. Let's see what Mother Moon wants to say. Oh, I heard the moon say, I am not a mother. Okay, yeah. I feel like a lot of lunar distortions and the way that the moon has been used and created, and how that is also tied to the water element. I feel like a lot of more people are going to understand that energy and probably expose what the moon is as well. Going right to Furious Strikes and Painful Spoons. So this has a lot to do with emotional energy of, again, the painful spoons that we talked about at the beginning, and also the fury that is in the water. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. Yeah, Cancer represents the mother archetype. So, you know, even though there is fury, even though, you know, there are painful spoons, it is very important that you are reiterating to yourself that you and your loved ones are safe. And that is also part of having your third eye open and being aware of your own emotional senses, which the water element, apart from our feelings and our emotions, is also our psychic senses. You know, the psychic ability runs through the energetic water system. And water also holds this memory as well from the beginning to the end. So it's important to know that you and your loved ones are safe. And again, by tuning in to your psychic senses and your own emotions, that's how you keep you and your loved ones safe. Again, if you have a hunch, if you have a vision, if you have a dream about, you know, like a typhoon coming, a tidal wave, whatever it may be, trust that. Please trust that. Okay, and to end it, we are going to ask the unicorns for some guidance for the highest vibrational timeline for the collective. And again, I am going to do a sign by sign reading here for my website subscribers, Eagle and Phoenix. Okay, We have uncord relationships. Let go now. Forgiveness is freedom. Yeah. Again, that came out at the very beginning, and also with the Paritsu, is that there are going to be some relationships that are coming to an end, and it's okay. Let go now. Let go of what this is, because as you can see, it was like a ball and chain. It's time to let go of something that was keeping you in the lower dimensions. Even if your soul contract was to get you through whatever that dimension was, it is time for you to get to that next level. And forgiving yourself, forgiving this other person for whatever it is that kept you there, right? Maybe you don't really understand the mechanisms of the ball and chain, but it's time to uncord those relationships regardless. And again, I feel like that is also part of the cording of the Oddish here as well. And then going right to the Fury Strikes and the Painful Spoons once again was the Cosmic Emerald coming out in reverse. So I feel like part of this is we need to be anchoring in the Cosmic Emerald on this earth. And right now it is not fully activated because a lot of the Emerald templates have been, I'm hearing like hijacked, hidden, but neither of those are true. It's something else. It says create perfect health, access divine abundance. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, well, that is literally that is like, and I was even saying that here before, right? About like the motherhood and stuff like that. It's not just about having people who are, like as an example, a woman who wants a man that's a provider. Okay. Yeah. But again, it has nothing to do with that money. And it's like that the money and the this and that like is nothing if you can't have good health, right? It's like, what good is all that if you're in an environment where water, food, clothing, air, everything is toxic, and that's part of the Cosmic Emerald of what is necessary in order to truly anchor in the emerald codes and have the, like the emerald rays. I can't remember what it's, Solaristic ruby, sapphire diamond. I think it's just called emerald, but anyway, so to have those emerald codes is in order to access this divine abundance, which is having literally, right? I mean, the codes are here on earth, right? It provides for us ad infinitum. It's infinite, but you have to have perfect health in order to have that divine abundance. And how do you have that perfect health when everything is trying to, KILL you? So that is the task, is to bring things back into a health perspective in order to truly access this divine abundance. So I feel like that is what's coming up for, I will say, I mean, we definitely had the message come through about what's happening in the springtime and sort of how to prepare for that. And I do feel like this is probably a calendar year reading. But we are going to look sign by sign of what is upcoming, what's ahead for each sign. I recommend that you listen to your sun, moon, and rising. But if you're doing things like maybe you're focusing on your love life right now, then read for your Venus. If you're focusing on, accessing abundance and luck and things like that, listen for your Jupiter. If you're focusing on motivation and willpower and things like that, then, focus on your Mars. If you're trying to build a business or create a legacy or whatever it is, Saturn, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I always recommend to read for what your goal is. But of course, your sun, moon, rising is going to, give you kind of an overarching thing. And again, your sun, like listening for your sun sign is going to help you with your sense of self, of becoming who you truly are. Listening for your moon is going to help with your elemental of water. So I definitely recommend, listening for your moon. And that's going to help you with your emotional body and your feelings and also your psychic senses. And then your rising sign, your ascension, is going to help you with your ascension journey to get you to that next level. So basis, I would listen to sun, moon, rising. But again, read for whatever your goal is. And I will post on Instagram when I have that uploaded for y'all. And again, that is for Eagle and Phoenix members only. If you're interested in becoming that, you can go to my website, click on the little menu bar and click signs and subscriptions and sign up there, because I really have a feeling a lot is going to come through. So I hope to see you there, and thank you all who tuned in for this live reading. It has been a while that I've done a live, and I really want to start doing them again, because this is how I'm being called to serve the community. So sending you lots and lots of love, and I hope to see you in the extended.